Servus und herzlich willkommen zurück hier bei Lamplight City. Wir fragen jetzt die gute Frau mal, was es denn mit dem Zeug da hinten zu tun hat. Und wenn es nicht hinhaut, dann laden wir neu.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
About that back room of yours.
I beg your pardon?
I don't know about this, Miles. Is this really a road you want to go down?
Die schaut jetzt irgendwie grantiger aus. Probieren wir es mal weiter mit Druck.
I had a look behind your curtain. Care to explain what all those things in that back room are?
Mr. Fordham, I was under the impression you could be trusted. Clearly, Albert was wrong about you.
Why are you keeping them out of view? What's their significance?
I don't like people invading my privacy, Mr. Fordham. You're no longer welcome in my home. Please leave.
But without me, your son won't get out of jail. Nobody else thinks he's innocent. Are you really going to put your pride over your son's life?
And now you insult me? You're really something special. I won't say it again. Get out!
You clearly hit a nerve there, Fordham.
Rather suspicious, if you ask me. Perhaps her and Mr. Martin's religious practices aren't as innocent as they claim to be.
An interesting notion. Well, I can't deny that the evidence against Mr. Martin is somewhat damning. If his mother was so sure of his innocence, she'd surely have explained what all those things behind the curtain were. I don't think Upton will appreciate being proven wrong. But like Fellows said, facts are facts.
Tja. Ich würde es aber trotzdem einfach nochmal neu laden, und zwar die Teestunde. Und wir schauen jetzt einfach mal nicht da nach hinten. Achso, wir schauen schon, aber wir sagen nichts.
Amazing! Even more voodoo stuff back there. Why would she keep these particular items hidden from view?
Good question.
They obviously have some importance to her. I'd suggest asking, but I don't know if that's the best idea given how sensitive she seems to be about the subject.
The tea should be ready in a few minutes, Mr. Fordham. You can help yourself once it's done.
You're very kind, Mrs. Martin.
So, und jetzt machen wir das aber anders.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer.
Und fügen keinen Druck hinzu.
About...
I beg.
I don't know about this.
Actually, thank you for your...
My pleasure.
Okay, dann gehen wir jetzt.
Aren't you going to have your tea, Mr. Fordham?
I'm afraid I just remembered something important I need to look into. Perhaps later.
Suit yourself.
Ja, machen wir gerne. So, jetzt schauen wir aber mal. Jetzt sind wir eigentlich alles. Jetzt schauen wir mal auf die Unität. Ah ja. Wen haben wir denn hier?
Huh. It's as though we've journeyed to the tropics. I don't know how you can stand to keep that coat on in here.
Das ist die gute Juliet. Schauen wir mal, was die sagt.
Pardon the disturbance, but are you Juliet Montgomery?
I am. And you are?
Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into the events surrounding your mother's attempted murder.
Ah, of course.
Have you got time to answer some questions?
Yes, that shouldn't be a problem.
Alles klar. Naja, gut. Ich möchte nichts sagen. Jetzt schauen wir mal.
Do you know anything about the events leading up to your mother's premature interment?
No, it was a complete shock. Mother seemed to be perfectly healthy and full of life. Then, without warning, she was dead. Or so we thought.
I take it you were glad to be wrong?
What a ridiculous question. Of course I was. What sort of heartless beast would celebrate their mother's death?
Oh, I could name a few. Juliet definitely didn't shed any tears over Madame Dupre, though. That much is obvious.
Miss Montgomery, you don't have to lie to me. I'm not going to assume you tried killing your mother just because you weren't upset by her death.
Gelogen. Sie
I
lügt schon
felt
wieder.
terrible about it. You have to understand, I didn't want her to be dead. I just felt a sense of relief. Please, don't think me a horrible person, Mr. Fordham. It's just that Mother and I aren't currently on the best of terms.
Alles klar, dann erzähl doch mal mehr.
Why don't you and your mother get along?
We've never completely seen eye to eye on anything. She always disapproved of anything I did. When I was younger, she used to forbid me from speaking to the servants. I saw no harm in a kind word or smile, but she warned us that if we were too familiar, they would take liberties. Then when I declared my intentions to pursue academic studies, she really went livid. In her opinion, a university education was tantamount to a chastity belt. What sort of man would want a wife with a head full of useless facts, she'd say.
Personally, I've always found intelligence to be quite attractive.
I assume your mother didn't approve of your involvement with Mr. Martin?
A rather forward question, Mr. Fordham. But you're not mistaken. I'm not sure how she managed to find out about Albert and me, but when she did, she nearly had a conniption. As I'm sure you can understand, the situation at home has been less than perfect in the last few months. I'd really rather not dwell on it.
Tja, das werden wir aber leider nicht ganz verhindern können.
You mentioned you were friends with the servants.
Yes, that's right. I didn't care that they worked for us. Everyone needs a friend.
Did your mother ever mistreat them?
Mistreat? No, I wouldn't say so. She was always very stern, though, and quite cold. If they ever shirked their duties or misbehaved, they were punished, of course, but nothing out of the ordinary that I ever saw. Most of the servants are my friends, but I'm closest with Amelie, the kitchen maid. Mother wasn't too happy about that. Amelie's been around as long as I can remember. She's like the aunt I never had.
Aha, die Köchin also.
What can you tell me about Albert Martin?
I'm not quite sure where to begin.
Why not start by telling me what your relationship with him was?
We met here at the greenhouse. He was working as an assistant, sweeping and cleaning and fetching things for the students. My focus was on academics, naturally. I wasn't too interested in romance. In fact, I've had to turn away nearly every single one of my classmates. But with Albert, I found myself intrigued. I noticed him stealing glances, lingering just a bit too long after bringing over a book or flask, sweeping the same patch of floor near me over and over again. It wasn't too long before I had him bringing me tools and equipment, regularly.
I see.
As I mentioned, Mother was an absolute terror when she found out.
Do you believe Mr. Martin did what he stands accused of?
I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't seem like him, but Albert can be quite passionate. If the police believe he's to blame, then they must have a reason for it. It wasn't any secret that he hated Mother. Perhaps I should have ended things sooner. It was satisfying to know that Mother was displeased, but I never imagined it would lead to something like this.
Well, it's nice to see she's all heart.
Okay, also die hat ihn im Prinzip nur benutzt.
So, you study botany. Fascinating subject.
Are you an admirer of plants, Mr. Fordham?
My wife has the green thumb in the household, but I do have a certain appreciation for them.
Plants are amazing things, just like people in many ways.
How do you mean?
They need attention and care. Ignore a plant, and it will wither. Give it too much attention, and it will become sick. Plants have many things to teach us, and I greatly enjoy learning from them.
Also Poison Ivy?
Do you know anything about ethericity, Miss Montgomery?
You surprised me, Mr. Fordham. I had no idea someone of your profession would know or care about something like that.
I've found that it pays to be open-minded.
To answer your question, yes, I am familiar with the theory of ethericity. In fact, it's recently become a focus of my studies. Despite what the newspapers have been reporting, it's already possible to access it in small quantities from the air around us.
Have you conducted any experiments?
No, my research has been purely theoretical. I don't have the means to do anything practical, I'm afraid.
Deceiver, dissembler, her trousers are alight. I can't understand why Juliet might not want to make her research public, though.
Eine Lüge.
Miss Montgomery, please don't lie to me. I know you've been conducting experiments with ethericity. I've seen the room you're renting on Forest Lane.
What? But how?
I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't find things out, Miss Montgomery. Now please, drop the act and tell me about your experiments.
Fine. I've been researching etheric effects on living organisms. I'm planning on presenting my discoveries to the board once I make more progress. So far, I've managed to discover that plant growth is accelerated significantly. It's given me quite the advantage in class.
But isn't that cheating?
You have no idea how difficult it's been for me to be taken seriously, Mr. Fordham. No matter how hard I tried, my work wasn't valued on its own merits by my peers or professors. I fought hard to get where I am. I wasn't about to lose all that just because some pig-headed idiots didn't think my best was good enough.
That sounds awfully familiar.
What about your notes on the effects of ethericity on animals?
Oh, those aren't complete. I haven't tested the effects on anything larger than flies. Those experiments were mainly to satisfy my curiosity, but they have little to do with my actual research.
Curiosity? Seems like a lot of effort to go to just to answer a question. But then, I never really understood these scientific types.
Interesting. Also die sehr zielstrebig.
What can you tell me about your brother?
Andrew, Mama's precious little boy. If you've met him, you pretty much know all you need to. He's had the whole world handed to him on a silver platter.
Du aber auch, gute Dame.
But he's in for a rude awakening someday. Mother can only provide for him for so long.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Alles klar.
Judging from that pipe, that contraption must be used to keep the plants hydrated. But it looks like a giant earwax remover to me. Those flowers are definitely not native to this area. They seem to be thriving in their glass tubes, though. Quite the assortment of plants they keep in here. I wonder if they serve any purpose or are just meant to look pretty.
Gut, also eigentlich kann es jeder fast sein, ne? Tja. Ah, da können wir jetzt nicht mehr hin. Okay, alles klar. Schauen wir noch mal zu ihr. Vielleicht weiß sie Neuigkeiten.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm...
Oder können wir jetzt nur den Fall lösen? Nö.
Then...
Da gibt's nichts Neues. Ich würde ihm jetzt eigentlich nur ungern sagen, dass er da nur ein nützliches Instrument war, aber die Wahrheit ist hart.
Could I ask you some more questions, Mr. Martin?
It's not.
Albert, did you hate Madame Dupré?
The woman is cruel, sadistic, and bigoted. When she found out about my relationship with Juliet, she sent me a letter threatening to have me killed if I got near her house or her daughter. So yes, Mr. Fordham, I hated her. But even so, I love her daughter. I wouldn't be so cruel as to take Juliet's mother away from her, even if she hated her too.
I beg your pardon?
Juliet and her mother didn't get along at all. I never asked why, but it was obvious there was something going on.
Intriguing.
That's all for now.
Interessant, das werden wir jetzt die gute Tochter gleich nochmal fragen. Hello again.
She's busy. That's not to bother her.
Aha. Okay. Können wir jetzt bei dem schon irgendwas anderes tun?
Good day to you, officer.
Afraid I... Please.
Nope. Dann bleibt uns nur das Herrenhaus.
This quack has a... Her eyes are glazed. If we didn't...
Okay.
Who's a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
Ray? Wer ist Ray? Star Wars?
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you. Rock.
Pieces of 8?
Hi, matey. Rock.
Geil.
Who's a pretty bird?
Rock. Ray's a pretty bird.
Der heißt also Ray.
Polly want a...
No, thank.
Pieces of 8?
Hi, matey. Rock.
So long.
Rock. Bye-bye.
Oh, der ist cool.
I have some... Oh. What can you tell me about your sister, Juliet?
I'm reminded of a famous quote, Mr. Fordham. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Let us part on good terms and avoid the subject altogether, please.
Thanks for your time.
No.
Okay. Da werden wir jetzt aber nichts Neues erfahren, oder? Ich würde gerne... Ah, Schubladen, haben wir da schon reingeschaut.
They're all empty. How unusual.
Not to mention disappointing.
Okay.
They're all...
Not to... Nice little cottage.
Dann wird das wohl ihr Zimmer sein, schätze ich mal.
Locked. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised.
I've never seen so many beautiful.
Ah, mit der Köchin können wir noch reden. Fällt mir gerade ein. Also das ist nur die Tonleiter, okay. Na, bringt uns nichts. Aber da ist sicher noch irgendwas, sonst wird es da nicht dastehen. Irgendwas ist da noch. So, jetzt reden wir aber nochmal mit der Köchin.
Pardon me, miss.
I told you I'm very busy, and I'll get in trouble if I'm caught speaking to you.
Ah ja.
Amelie, please. I need to know what you know about Madame Dupré.
What? How did you know my name?
Wir wissen das.
Juliet told me about you.
Miss Juliet?
Yes, I spoke to her at the university. She mentioned you two were friends.
Yes, that's right. She's always been so good to me.
Look, Amelie, I'm just trying to get some information. And I have a feeling you can be very helpful if you just let me talk to you.
All right, fine. But do it as fast as you can.
Wird keiner mitbekommen.
Tell me about Madame Dupré.
Oh, I really shouldn't, sir.
It would greatly help my investigation if you did.
Madame Dupré was kind enough to hire me as her cook. It's hard to get jobs in the city. Lots of people want their servants to use those new machines. My sister's brother-in-law got half his leg blown off by one of those new ovens. He's lucky he wasn't killed. So I'm plenty happy working here doing real people's work. But Madam can be difficult sometimes.
Difficult? What do you mean by that?
No, I said enough.
Tell me more, tell me more.
What do you know about Madame Dupré's supposed death?
All I can tell you is that whoever did it really hated her.
Do you know Albert Martin, the man accused of the crime?
No, I'm sorry.
So, jetzt über die Kinder noch.
What can you tell me about Andrew?
He ain't so bad. Kinda spoiled, but he mostly cleans up after himself. Has a whole private part of the house, but I think he only uses one room. Better for me, way less to clean.
Okay.
What do you know about Juliet?
She was always so kind to me and the others, but her mother don't like that one bit. Still, she sneaks down into the kitchen to keep me company some nights. Even though she's a good soul, I think part of her does it just to spite her mother.
Okay.
Are you the only remaining servant here?
No, there's another one, Marcel. He's the new gardener. I haven't seen him in a few days, though. Not since before Madam's incident.
Thank you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Now please, let me get back to work.
Na klar, du hast da mal definitiv nichts damit zu tun, würde ich sagen. Aber
As amusing as it is to chat with this.
nichts Neues mehr. Ich würde gerne in die Kiste da oben rein.
This quack.
Kannst du uns noch vielleicht was sagen?
Nothing else to.
Nein, auch nicht mehr. Achso, da war noch einer. Was sagt denn?
He's watching you
Also.
like a hawk.
Auch nix. Die Mama.
Welcome.
She's not gonna be much help.
Die Mama also auch nicht. Vielleicht hätten wir doch da reinschauen sollen. Das Töchterlein.
She's busy.
Da ist nix, da ist nix. Da geht nix, da geht nix. Da geht auch nix mehr. Das kennen wir schon. Da waren wir schon. Ich schaue nach den Dingen im üblichen Versteck unter dem weinenden Engel. Der weinende Engel. Das ist ein Engel und ein Springbrunnen.
This fountain probably looked nicer when it was working. There's an angel on the fountain. but it doesn't look like it's weeping. This would probably be too risky a place to hide something anyway. This fountain probably looks... There's an angel on the... This would probably...
Schade, ich dachte, das wär's. Was haben wir noch?
Dupree looks like she's holding on to that... Dupree...
Ein weinender Engel.
A horrible little...
Nope. Was haben wir hier?
I don't know much about art, but...
Ah, das war vorher noch nicht. Tonqualität ist bescheiden, würde ich jetzt mal sagen. Der weinende Engel. Das sind alles nur Blumen. Das sieht auch nicht so aus.
You've got some huge bags under your eyes, Miles. Reminds me of the case we had on that strange train.
Don't remind me.
Ist das vielleicht ein Buch? Nein.
One of those melodramatic romances. I read it a while back and I couldn't tell you a thing about it.
No. Alles klar, liebe Leute, das war's jetzt mal für diese Episode. In der nächsten Episode werden wir weiter rätseln und das Geheimnis um den weinenden Engel lüften. Ich sage mal, vielen Dank fürs Zusehen, Servus und bis bald.